Okay, I can't get all of this in frame, but I've got two 12 by 6 1/4 sheets. This is what I'm going to use for my hinge, and I need them to be together, so I'm just going to take, everybody's seen this being done, well, you know, almost everybody, I guess. We're just going to take a little bit of score tape here, burnish it down, makes it easier to get this paper backing off of it. Make sure everything's folded over on itself. And then you're going to use this to line your paper up. And let's see. Yep, you're going to use this to line your paper up. And there we go. It's pretty well. Pretty down there pretty well. Okay, now because I'm using this, I think I like this side better. I am going to, I've got some Tyvek envelopes. I picked this up at a garage sale, but you can get these at office stores. I think Walmart might carry them, I'm not sure. And I am going to glue this, stick it in my cutter here. See if I'm going to be able to do this. Of course not. Stick it in my cutter this way. Let's see, I'm going to cut this part off so I can end up with a straight section to work with. Is that going to allow me to get it through here? Yes, it is. I need 6 1/4 twice. And this is going to be pretty good. There we go. And then I have this nice big piece for something else. And I'll just use my scissors on this little tidbit here. Okay, cut her away, and now we're going to use glue. Make sure this is cleaned off here. I'm going to glue on one of these strips at a time. Come on, glue. There we go. Well, let me get these glued and I'll be right back. Okay, we do want to make sure that we're getting that glue down in there in those fibers so it really holds on to this very strong material. Alright, so, and I did not double it up right here where there's, I butted it up because we didn't need any extra thickness on this little piece where we attach these two. Okay, so now the only thing that I've got left is I'm going to trim all of the little excess, and then I'm going to get my scoreboard out. Alright, I've kind of got you really close up because I can't get everything in line, so I just thought I would show you. I'm going to do, I have a 1/4 inch is where this piece is, so I'm going to pull it between my 1/2 inch and my 7. And I'm just, it could be between my 6, it could be between my 8. I'm working with what I've got here. Well, let's do it over here. So it's between 9 1/2 and 10. All right? And so then I'm going to move and do 3 of my pieces over this way, and then 3 of my pieces. Let's explain what it is, Lisa. 3 of my hinges that way, and then of this piece, and then 3 that way. Now, I'm doing the Hidden Hinge Plus. It's Kathy Orta's. She now has a trademark thingy. I don't know what that means as far as me showing you how I'm doing something. But I suppose she'll contact me. I don't know that she watches my stuff, but I suppose she'll contact me if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do. But I figured I think I have a tutorial already where I've explained it once, but I don't remember where it was. So I'm going to start here at 10. And there we go. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch here. So now I have completely encased this combination of the 2 pieces of paper into one section, that so I know that I'm not going to be fighting this at any point. This is going to be one of the gussets, and now I'm going to start a hinge. Now for the Hidden Hinge Plus system, normally you would do like a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, and that would be the 2 that you would put together and would make a mountain fold, which would be a hinge. But we're going to do, and let me make sure that I've got enough on here. We're going to do the Hidden Hinge Plus, which actually adds another whole hinge. So we're going to go from the 9 1/2, where I finished my gusset part, my part that's actually going to be stuck to the book, and I go 9 and 9, 8 1/2. Now that is one side, that's the mountain side, just one side of that mountain fold. And then I'm going to do 8, and I'm going to do 7 1/2. That makes one hinge. And when we get to this, I will explain that, but that makes one hinge, and then from my 7 1/2 to my 7 is my next gusset. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on a 1/2 inch all the way over, and let's see, so a total of, from gusset, then you have 1 2 3 4 5 lines to get to your next hinge. So from the edge of, from the left hand edge of the gusset, my first gusset, then I did 1 2 3 4 5, and then I'm ready to start my next hinge. That gets me from gusset to gusset, and then I'm going to do 5 more and 5 more on this side, and then I'm going to start to the right side of this gusset and do them that way. Okay, so I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I've got one done, and then I'm going to show them to you, but if you can see, there is a score mark right here. So that is the Hidden Hinge Plus. You've got a gusset here and a gusset here, 1/2 inch, and then you've got a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. So I'm hoping you can see that. That's what the Hidden Hinge Plus system is. What it does is you hook on this first section, you hook your paper, you hook your pages on, and then that gives it a chance to use this whole 1/2 inch to get up over the other pages and lay down. So here is the book, here's that 1/2 inch you get, so it's another gusset, and then your page is going to lay over using this 1/2 inch. It's very ingenious, and so that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one. And then I'll do the rest of them and come back to you. So, because it is with the Tyvek, I have found that Suquine tape is just not that useful. I am using it. You could use as well your ATG. In fact, it's probably less expensive to use the ATG. But just was laying here on the desk, so I'm using it. But what I'm doing this for is this is going to allow it to really grab for the necessary time that I can keep working while it's drying, because I want it to dry very well. So I put the Suquine on this, oh shoot, excuse me. Okay, so I went ahead and put a piece of Suquine tape on the gusset, just so you would, I can do another one on this gusset. So you see that the gussets end up being stuck together. I find that Suquine tape is not really all that helpful when you're using Tyvek. But here you can see I have these two are gussets, and here is my, so I've got my two gussets and then my hinge. Okay, so it works the same as the hidden hinge. So now this next strip is the beginning of my next hinge. And I did a little ATC on there because it's going to help me grip it while the glue is drying, so that I can continue working. So I'm just going to put a little glue around the ATG, excuse me. And remember, I'm doing 2 1/2-inch score marks. Then I'm folding. And you could fold before you put the ATG down, which is probably a good idea. Can't think of everything, but this is going to work out just fine. I'm lining this up to make sure that I'm keeping my paper straight, because if you don't keep your paper straight, you're going to end up putting your pages on hinges that are not straight. And when you put pages on hinges that are not straight, your pages are going to be not straight. Okay. And then I'm pushing hard down so that I'm getting that ATG on the paper to help me grip. And then just making sure that that glue is getting smushed in to the Tyvek. Okay, let me wipe up any glue. Then I'm going to bring this back over, hold my and there we go. So now I have 2. Okay. And there we go. So I'm just going to do this again and get all of these done, and then I'll be back with you. And we'll get our pages put on. Alright, so where I'm at now is I have finished the binding system that I'm going to use. I have cut chipboard. Well, actually this is really much thicker than chipboard. It's you know, when you have the fabric samples that you find at the stores, and it's got that hard back to it, that's what this is. I saved from the fabric samples that I got the hardback pieces, and I'm using those, and it makes a nice thick book, which I really like it. It makes it look very substantial. Okay, so Then in order to create my inside, front and back, I measured, and I want a 7 3/4 by 6 5/8 piece that's going to go over everything. Now the front, I actually want to have, I bought this, and I want to put this on here, and then I want to have just a photo for the newborn, for, you know, this is the very beginning, okay? So the picture of their choice can go in the front. And then in the back, I haven't figured out quite what I'm going to do, but it's going to be more like a waterfall, you know, holding some memorabilia type things or whatever. So I haven't thought that completely through yet. I have gone through, and I had my waffle boxes. I saved those specifically because it's white in the inside, but I now have 12 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 picture mats that I'm going to make. And then these were just the bits and pieces that were left that weren't, this one's got a little damage to it. I'm going to just toss that, but these were all kind of nice and straight and would work really well. So I just have all of these to play around with. And then I didn't have to use any of my, you know, better, thicker cardstock for that. I have made some Heartfelt Creations flowers. It's the berry blossom. I've got the die and the stamp. So that's what I used, and I made some flowers and a few of the greenery that came with it. So I'm not, you know, none of them are worked up yet. Don't have any centers to them yet or anything, because I'm waiting to see where I'm going to put those. So that is that's done, and I also did a bunch of die cutting. So I have lots of hearts. Got some nice words. I've got the pieces here that would make love, and then I have the little center sections so that I can do that as well. I've got butterflies. I've got some of these little Spellbinder dies, and this is Tim Holtz, the beehive or something like that. And then I've got hearts and stars, butterflies. So I've got all of those. So I'm pretty much ready to start putting this thing together and getting all my embellishments on. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with the front and the back, because then I'm going to put the pages on. I want them to line up with my front and my back. So I'm going to get these done, and then I'll glue them to the book. So I've got to figure out first, though, what I'm going to do. And I do have this ribbon, which I thought was really pretty, and you can feel the little dots on it. And I believe this is going to be my tie. So I will be putting ribbon in here before I glue this down. I'll cut this in half and use it. I think this is a yard, so that'll be plenty to put a nice bow on there. So I have that. So that's where I'm sitting right at the moment. I'm going to kind of figure out what I'm going to do, probably with the front first and then with the back. But as soon as I get stuff together, I will bring you back and show you. Well, I started working on this thing, and then I realized I hadn't even thought about bringing you guys in on it. So sorry. Okay, so first of all I've done so far is I put some of my pink. I took the, let's see, where is it? I took the gather stuff off of this lace, and so now I have ungathered lace, and it's beautiful. So I have that here, obviously. I took a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 picture mat, and that's this. I used Spellbinder's die, the Die Delights, and this is This is Flourish Trim. I did 3 of those and glued them together, and I offset. 2 of them are gray and one's a pink. So I offset the pink just a little bit. So I don't think it's something that you guys can see, but I can see. It's really cute. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is, let's see, there we go. I've got this 1/8 of an inch score tape, and I'm going to kind of right through the center of this section here, and I'm going to cut off. Yeah, my tools sometimes. I'm not as neat today as I normally am because I've been in and out of here all day. Not really getting much of anything done. I'm sure you guys all know how that works. Scissors, any kind of scissors would be great. Okay. So I am going to cut off the excess of this. But my little guy here, there's glitter here, so I don't mind that bright pink, but I didn't want to add any more of that bright pink glitter. But I have this. It's Martha Stewart Cotton Candy, and this is pretty translucent, so it's not going to be like super dark. But I thought just a little bit of sparkle on this side of the page is going to be nice. So I'm just gonna sprinkle, and then I'll use my finger tool and oh, good stretch. Get that nice and burnished up with the best tool God gave us. Alright. And then there's that. Give it a good brush. I like to try and get as much flyaway as possible. Now, what is this? I guess I had a little bit of sticky. There we go. Okay. And I will put this away later. I won't make you guys sit through all of that. And, oh, looky there. Bang you guys all around. Okay, so now that just adds just a little bit of glitter to kind of counteract the little bit of glitter up here. And I think I'd like it if it was a little pinker, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave it just the way it is. So now I'm going to place this. And again, this is a Jolie's Boutique. I think I got it at Michael's. Embellishment. I think it's one of the first things I purchased. And it doesn't really feel like it's super gluey. So I'm going to take a little bit. Just kind of drop it around on the parts that are supposed to be glued. I think that's probably about it. Let's get a little bit of this and a little bit of this here. Okay, let's try this. So there we go. And get this all pushed down. I want that glue to be able to do its thing as well. All right, so there's we goes there. Now, a little bit of embellishing. I'm gonna have a photo here. See, and I have, yes, I do. I have a blank, oh, for heaven's sakes. Sorry, guys. Let me show you what I'm trying to do here. There. I have a blank 4x6 photo. So that's going to go right in there, and it's going to slide underneath this. Okay, so that's going to work really well. But I want to do a little bit of embellishing. So I'm going to put some of these flowers that I made. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to work out really nicely. So, let's see, I don't want to get anything on this. Sliver of extra paper. Here we go, this will work fabulously for that. Okay. And I wanted you guys to know that these prills, I went ahead and tried putting these prills, coloring them with Copic markers. And you can color these prills any color you want with those Copic markers. Super easy to do. Super easy to do. I don't know why this little sucker won't slide down for me. Huh. I'm trying to get that. I guess I glued that. Oops. Let's get that there and this here. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to slide that underneath and right there. Now these are prills, and then these, this is, they're Schwarzkopf crystals. They're 3mm, and I got them from Stamplistic. That's stamp and then listic.com. And so they are the kind that depends on what you put them on, and they pick up the different colors that you put them on. And then I did a little bit of glossy accents on top of the butterfly. I think I'm going to put the butterfly right here. Butterfly right there. There we go. So there is some little bit of decoration. And this pretty much, I'm going to leave that in there just a little bit longer. But this pretty much takes care of my inside front cover. I'm going to set this off to the side and let that dry. Now, the inside back cover, I'm going to do a waterfall and something else. So let me get ready for that one, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so this is my inside back cover, and if you can see these, I've made little cross marks. Okay, that's 1/4 of an inch down from the top and 1/4 of an inch in from the side. I have made these. Now remember, this is 7 3/4 across by 6 and 5/8 down. Okay, but more importantly, what we're interested in is the 7 3/4 across, and then these are 7 1/4 across. So I get a 1/2 inch difference, which is 1/4 on this side and 1/4 on this side. And then I've got 8 of these with a 1/4 inch fold over. So, or, you know, scored at 1/4 inch. So these are 4 1/2 with a 1/4 inch fold. So these total, this gives you 6 inches for the photo this way and 4 1/4 for the photo this way, because I wanted to have a little place here for some writing. You know, just, and I've got this little glitter. I did this little glitter on each one of these. So each one of these is 1 1/8 by 4. And then I just kind of stuck them in there. Got a little edge on each one and a little more of an edge on the sides here. But it looks nice with a photo. You take the photo and you butt it right up against that glittered edge. This photo's been cut down for working into a book, but so you cut that, you butt that right up against there, and it gives you a little bit of edge. Like I said, this one's been cut. Let me find one that's not. Where did I have it? Where did I put it? I put it somewhere. Put it somewhere in here. Okay. So, where did I just put the one that, because that one was, oh well. Anyway, so, but, so that's what that is, and that's how I'm working these. But this, I wanted to show you the cross hatches, because then I'm going to line this right up with those cross hatches, and that way I know that I've got it started right in the right place. But I am going to go ahead and lighten up these cross hatches, so you might not still be able to see them, but I will. And then I'm not going to have quite so hard a time getting them erased once I get the paper on here. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to put some glue on here. There we go. And I'm going to flip this around so maybe between the two of us we can see everything that I'm doing here. And there I have both cross hatches covered. Alright. Let me take my ruler and make sure that I'm looking at 1/4 inch all the way down on both sides, so that I know I'm straight. So I've got that on there. I don't have to worry too much about the seepage because I'm building from this, but you do want to make sure that you have this nice and straight, because all the rest are built off of this. Okay, so now I'm going to do the next one, and then I'll stop this and get the rest of them done, and then come back and show you what's next. Okay. There we go, and then this just butts right up against this. Ah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I come off the page? Now when you're using glue, and instead of like ATC, ITG, the ATG or score tape or something, just give it a little bit extra time to make sure that you're setting it up nicely and you've got everything where it needs to be, and you can close your page and make sure everything's still lined up correctly. Okay. You want to make sure you're not coming up on top of, you're butting up to it and not on top of it. Okay? Because then that's going to make you crooked. And I'm nice and straight right now. Alrighty? So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get all of these on. I think I have 8 of them. If I did my math correctly, I'm going to have plenty of room to get all 8 of them on and have about the same amount here as here left. So we'll see. Alright guys, see you in a minute. Okay, so I have taken all of my pages and glued them on, and I just butted them up against the last one, and I was just really careful to stick those on correctly. So I've got all my pages on there now. Alright, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything here or not. We'll just see. But, and then I took my, my little pieces for writing, my little journal spots, and I put them on either side. Okay, so I have chosen that I want this piece to be what's going to open things up. And so I figured out where I wanted this to land. So I'm going to glue this onto my gray spot, my gray strip, once I find my center. And then I've got this other piece and I scored it. Remove this. I scored it for the bottom part. And I have it overlapping. Let me see if I can put this. I'm not sure you can see exactly how much I have overlapping. So there you can see it goes all the way to here, and here's the bottom. Because some of this I'm going to cut off. This is going to be right about here. So there's a good, most of this is going to be underneath this, which is, I didn't want it showing past this. So there probably will be some trimming that I'll have to do for this lower piece. Well, I'm just going to put it down below. It's because at first I thought that I would have the magnet on this part, but I think I'll put it, yeah. So I'll put this part like this. So there we go. Alright, so that's my plan. This is not the thickest cardstock, and it bubbled or bent up when I put all of these pieces down on it. So I will be using score tape and glue to put this down in the back of my book. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and get my, find my center, put my straps on, and I'm also going to do a piece of lace, and and I also have to put my straps in my book, my ribbon straps in my book. So yeah, okay, so let me just find the center here. Where's my ruler? Here it is. We're always looking for something, aren't we? Okay, so here's 2, here's 10. So there's my center right there. I'm good with that. I'm just going to hold it and flip it over. I'm going to put a little bit of this for, let me move this down so you can see what I'm doing. I put a little of the ATG on there so it's instant hold. And a good amount of glue. There we go. Hold on just a minute. My husband just popped in. He didn't realize I was videoing. So, okay, so now this is, I got this nice and connected. And so all we need now is we match this piece up. Gonna match this piece up perfectly with this one. This is another reason having straight paper is really important. And then I'm just gonna pinch this. Oh, I moved it. Hold on. Yeah, boy did I move it. Okay, pick this up and flip it over. Lay it down. Just putting a little piece of the ATG, but I'm holding it so it doesn't get moved. And then I'm getting my glue on here. It's a good bit of glue. But I got the ATG so it will gather it immediately. But you know what? I think I'm going to check this one more time. It's just looking a little funky. A little funky. Okay, lined up. Ah! There we go. Okay. There we go. Got some glue on my fingers, so when I'm rubbing. Alright, so there's that. Now I'm going to need, oh, it's not, yeah. So now I'm going to need a magnet. Let's see here. And for this, because it's going to be holding so much weight, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to do magnet to magnet. Oh, I've got two right here. I normally do, oh, this is a plus and a plus. Let me get the other minus. I normally do my little aluminum sheet, tin roof sheet things, but it is less strength than magnet to magnet. Okay. All right. Get the paper off of this one. Well, that might not be in the non-sticky back stuff. That might be some paper from something. Okay. But it's going to have paper on it, so I'm not, let's see, let's just put this one here. I want enough room that I can get paper to stick. Okay, so there's that, and I'm going to put that there, and take this off. And I'm going to make sure that I am nice and flat, because that's the way it's going to be on the book, is nice and flat. And it lines up nicely. And then I'm putting that down. Okay. Then I'm going to do my daughter sticker. And I am going to, see now, the corners are sticky on this. And I'm going to show you what I do with that. But right now, I'm going to put glue, because some of my corner is going to stick off, and I don't want that to be active sticker all the time. Okay. I want this to be right here. No, up just a little bit more. Up this just a little bit more. And that looks good right there. We'll push this down. Oh, too hard. Too hard. Alrighty. If you give the glue sometimes a little bit of time to set up before you really start squishing it, it will do less oozing, but you'll be able to keep the majority of the glue where you need it. But I put on way too much glue. My husband, I don't think you can hear him, but he is in the other room cracking up. So I don't know what happened, but something funny. All right. And let's see, my lace is right here. As you can see on my first page, I have the lace. So on this, I'm going to have the lace, but I think I'm just going to put it behind, and so it'll come out from underneath, as well as my tie will come out from underneath. So that'll be nice to have that way. All right. So I'm going to get all of this set up, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I picked the, let me take this out. And I'm sorry I didn't film this. I got it all done and went, oh darn it. Shelly Geigel has some really good tutorials on how to do this. And if you follow, if you do a lot of mini albums, I'm sure you know who she is. Yeah, Shelly Geigel. Anyway, I kind of picked the Lullaby paper. It's the softest pink that was in there, the most quiet paper. So that's the one I chose. And then I did a little bit of the lace, the same lace that I have on each one of the pages. So now I'm just kind of sticking this in between the pages so that I get a nice flat surface to work on. One of the little die cuts that I got from my Cricut, and I cut it out of the paper, and then I also cut it out of white cardstock. I had this little teeny piece of lace left, and so I had to find a place to put it, so I put it right there on the bee. I thought that was super cute. So I'm going to place the things that I am pretty sure that I want to use on here. I got some little onesies again from the Cricut. These would totally be simple to just cut out to figure out, you know, a little pattern for them. And I also again cut out some, it's 110 cardstock. But I've got those. I put a couple little hearts on, and then this one I've got one of the little, yeah, hobby horses. I think that's what you call those things. Rocking horses, there we go. And so I'm thinking I'm going to put this like this. Somewhere around here with the baby. So kind of like that. And then I have these that I've done. Again, these are Heartfelt Creations. I've made some of my little flowers. And I'll just be kind of placing these, you know, in different spots where I feel like they'd be, doing, you know, making it pretty. And then I've got another little section over here of a leaf. And I don't want to cover I want to make sure she can read and knows that says baby, but I don't think that would be all that hard to figure out. And this little one here. And I don't know. That might be about it. I have one more, but you know, sometimes, I don't know, I could probably snag a spot right underneath there or something. Yeah, so something like that, I think, is what I'm going for. So basically now all I'm going to do is glue all this down. And then I will be back and I'll give you guys a quick flip through and we'll be done with this project. Okay, back in a sec. Well, I have finished and I'm very excited about this. This is for my niece, her first baby. And it is, oh shoot. Now I had it memorized, so I didn't write it down. And do you think I can remember? So yeah, 8 by 6 3/4, and it's 3.5-inch spine. So it's a big puppy, but it is a 12 pager. So it's one for every month, and you know, so there we go. So pretty simple. Got a little tie closure here. These are just Heartfelt Creation flowers and some stuff I got off of the my Cricut. So there you go. Open this up. And I might have to back this off a little bit so you can see things here. Okay. So let's just slide it this way. So here is my first page, my inside front cover actually. And this is a Jolie 3-dimensional piece. And some more flowers and die cuts and things like that. And a little tag here with all of the essential information pieces. And then each one of the pages is exactly the same. I mean, different papers, but basically set up the same. There's a pocket on the inside. Each one has the month card backed on the gray, and then it opens up here. Each one has a little flag, fishtail, and then you have a tag. My niece is a very good photographer, and she loves to take pictures, so I'm sure she will have fun filling this up. And there's a little piece of lace, the same lace that was in the front cover here. So, okay. And then, again, both of them are the same. I don't think you can, there's month 2 with the pocket, month 3 with the pocket, and then the inside. Each one of the fishtail things is different. Each one of the tags is different. 10 tiny fingers and 10 tiny toes. I love that one. Just that's a old Stampin' Up! One, and this is Graphic 45. So Hampton Arts, I believe. And then we have, you know, again, 4 here and 5 here, and then the inside, and you can see my tag and the little fishtail thingy. So, okay, so basically just going to be showing you the little tags and fishtail things here. This is really cute paper. If there's something that I'm not showing you that you want to see, just let me know. I mean, this pretty much every part of this except for the parts that I'm showing you I have done in the tutorial which is kind of a tutorial, and you know, I take you through the bits and pieces, but I'm sorry if this one was kind of done a little more in a hurry than I normally do, but I had to get this done. I'm also helping my mom work on a quilt for her, so I've had very little time to do this. Now I also did this waterfall. It's magnetically closed, and we've got front and backs here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, and then behind here is a little pocket that I made, and then I have all of these wonderful little things for her to put in the book wherever she wants. There's a couple of words, love, cut out, the different papers, dad, mom, baby, girl. There's a cute little bottle, precious, and here's a couple more tags if something happens that she wants to write more. So that all fits down into this pocket. I'm going to have a little envelope full of butterflies, hearts, stars, that she can add to all of the photos that she might want. Now the little gray pieces here is for journaling, and then this is for the picture. So that's it. That's my book, and I'm sticking to it. Again, if there was anything in here you guys wanted to see that I maybe didn't cover well enough for you, just let me know. And thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all later.